In the silent darkness of space, there has always been room for surprises. But when a group of scientists analyzing images of distant Pluto stumbled upon something astonishing, no one could have predicted where it would lead. There, among the icy plains, something was lurking, at first mistaken for an optical illusion, a structure that was neither a mountain nor a crater. But the more they studied the images, the more obvious it became. What they were looking at was something artificial. A quickly assembled team of scientists and engineers armed with the most advanced technology set out to investigate. Upon arriving on Pluto, the team discovered something that shocked the entire scientific community. A spacecraft resting in the icy void seemed to have endured for centuries. It was completely alien. None of the known civilizations could have created anything like it. The passage of time had left its mark on every detail, yet the structure remained incredibly advanced. The metallic elements making up the ship's hull resisted all scientific methods of analysis known to humanity. However, this was only the beginning. Upon entering, the researchers were astonished to find that the ship was filled with a variety of artifacts. Among them were complex mechanisms and strange devices that seemed to have come straight out of a science fiction novel. All of this inevitably led to the thought, perhaps this vessel had arrived from the future itself. But what path had brought it here? The fact that the ship rested on Pluto added even more intrigue to the mystery, making one wonder how this incredible vessel ended up abandoned in such a remote corner of the solar system. A spaceship from nowhere. The mystery of extraterrestrial technologies. As they studied the find in more detail, the team encountered an unsolvable puzzle. The ship seemed to have no analogues among Earth's technologies. Its design was both simple and ingenious at the same time. The lines, smoothly curving around the hull, seemed to follow some unknown cosmic laws. The metal that formed the base of the vessel had a structure unknown to science. It could not be cut or melted, and its surface reflected light in an unusual way, creating the illusion of moving shadows. The ship's interior was astonishing. Small cabins with comfortable yet oddly shaped chairs, terminals that did not respond to touch but glowed with a soft, muted light, and panels covered in symbols unlike any known language. Everything around exuded mystery, leaving the impression that this vessel was just the tip of the iceberg. But the greatest surprise came from the discoveries in the compartment that could be called the heart of the ship. Here, mysterious devices were found, the workings of which remained incomprehensible. One of them, a spherical apparatus emitting a faint glow, seemed to possess consciousness, reacting to the presence of people. The researchers tried to study it with awe, but to no avail. Nevertheless, this did not stop them from making further attempts. The device, like the ship itself, challenged our understanding of physics. Each new discovery raised even more questions. How could something like this have been built, and why did the ship end up on Pluto, so far from all human eyes? Casting a quick glance at the starry sky, the scientists realized that even more discoveries awaited them, each likely to be no less shocking than the last. Ahead of them lay artifacts that could change everything we know about ourselves and the universe. A struggle between light and darkness. Unusual artifacts on board. As the scientists continued to study the hull of the mysterious ship, their attention was drawn to a hidden door leading deeper into the vessel. Upon opening it, they discovered a room filled with extraordinarily complex artifacts. Among them, two objects stood out, each exhibiting diametrically opposite properties. One of them, a crystalline structure made of a glowing material, easily absorbed light and resonated at a frequency beyond the range of human hearing. Whenever a person approached this artifact, it would begin to emit a soothing glow, creating an atmosphere of tranquility around itself. Nearby was another artifact, a massive dark cube that absorbed light, casting shadows around itself as if pulling everything into its black abyss. When people approached it, they felt a slight discomfort, as if it created resistance to movement, compelling them to step back. This confrontation of light and darkness within the same space filled the researchers with awe and a desire to understand the nature of these mysterious objects. After analyzing the properties of these two artifacts, the scientists began to suspect that they possessed an energy that humanity was not yet able to comprehend or control. This hypothesis fueled further interest in studying the ship. After all, the artifacts might contain the keys to secrets that could completely change our perception of the world. The researchers continued their journey through the strange corridors, full of hope to uncover even more mysteries and riddles hidden in this enigmatic place. This was the answer to the main question. What else does this ship conceal, and what amazing discoveries might it offer humanity? Chronic dilemmas. The future of technology in the present. As the researchers continued to study the unexpected discoveries, they faced an increasingly difficult challenge: how to understand technologies that do not yet exist in our time. Every device on board seemed to defy the laws of physics we are certain of. For example, the ship's control panel, which had not a single button, would come alive and activate as one approached it. It seemed to understand the researchers' intentions, displaying schematic maps of unknown galaxies. Such technology seemed incredible, pointing to an intelligence of an unknown level. One of the most astonishing discoveries was the small portable devices that resembled bracelets. As soon as the scientists tried to use them, the bracelets began transmitting data on unknown frequencies, resonating with the body and creating the illusion of communicating at a distance without a single word. This led to the assumption that the ship's crew might have communicated telepathically. It was hard to believe that such a thing was possible, since even the latest developments in communications are still far from this level. Meanwhile, in one of the compartments, a group of researchers came across an even more astonishing device. It regulated air temperature and pressure according to unknown principles, creating optimal living conditions even in the environment of Pluto. This discovery inspired specialists with ideas about the possibility of creating autonomous life support systems that could operate for decades without human intervention. Each discovery, like a piece of a puzzle, added more and more details to the overall picture of this incredible vessel. As they continued their investigation, the scientists became increasingly convinced that they were looking at a true window into the future. But how could technology that is centuries ahead of our time have ended up here? This question preoccupied the team, offering only one explanation. Whoever built this ship came from a time we have not yet reached. The path ahead only grew more tangled, promising to reveal even more secrets that humanity had never even dreamed of. A paradox of time. A journey through the ages. As the research continued, the growing number of incredible discoveries began to confront scientists with one of the main dilemmas of our time, a time paradox. How can we access technologies that have not yet been invented? The ship's crew likely possessed knowledge that we are only just beginning to understand. It was suggested that the ship might have traveled through time, possibly passing through centuries and dimensions. This idea, though it sounded unbelievable, was supported by the artifacts they discovered. One day, the team came across a device resembling an antique clock, but its mechanism had no parallels in known science. When activated, it began to display projections of timelines that seemed endless. Each member of the group, upon touching it, saw scenes unfolding in different time periods, as if they were observers of history in real time. This led to the assumption that what they had before them was a time machine, operating on a principle that remains beyond our reach. Further research led to yet another astonishing discovery. In one of the compartments, a journal was found containing chronicles written in an unknown language, but with dates that did not match our modern calendar. This journal likely contained a record of events experienced by the crew, which could shed light on the true purpose of the ship. But how they were able to travel through time and what prompted their journey remained a mystery. These discoveries raised a host of new questions for the scientists. There was a possibility that the ship had indeed come from the future, to explore not only our time but also those yet to come. The researchers understood that the key to the mystery might lie in further study of these mysterious artifacts and writings. They felt they were on the verge of revolutionary discoveries that could completely change our understanding of time and space. However, to take the next step, they had to gather all the evidence together. Each new discovery drew them deeper into the complex labyrinths of temporal paradoxes, hidden messages, signs leading to the solution. Fascinating finds continued to amaze the research team when hidden messages were discovered aboard the ship, which could shed light on the vessel's origin and mission. In one of the compartments, they came across a panel covered in symbols that began to glow when touched with their instruments. These symbols were not just patterns, but a fully developed language conveying information. After conducting an analysis, the scientists discovered that the panel was a kind of navigation system, pointing to places in the universe that Earthlings had never even imagined. However, these were only the first steps in unraveling the mystery. Delving deeper into the study of the panel, they discovered incoming signals that contained encoded images and coordinates. It soon became clear that this was a kind of roadmap leading to other worlds or even different time periods. This discovery confirmed the theory of time travel and indicated the existence of technology that allows movement between dimensions. All the indications and markings pointed to the existence of some kind of center, possibly the home world of the ship's crew. In another part of the vessel, the researchers found a set of artifacts arranged in a strict order. Among them were crystals that emitted a strange radiation when subjected to certain vibrations. But the most astonishing thing was that each crystal had its own frequency, and together they functioned as a single unit, forming a complex pattern. After analyzing this mechanism, the scientists suggested that it was a code which might serve as a means of communication with other ships or even with inhabitants of a distant future. These discoveries opened the door to a new chapter of understanding, perhaps of a universe where humanity had not reached such heights. However, in order to fully decipher these messages, the team would have to piece together all the elements of the puzzle: the maps, the crystals, and the symbols. They realized how great the chances were to uncover astonishing secrets and perhaps to establish contact with unknown civilizations. But ahead of them still lay an unexplained path, full of mysteries and unpredictable discoveries. The labyrinth of multiple dimensions. The bold theories of scientists, complex theories, born out of the many mysterious discoveries aboard the enigmatic ship, began to gain traction. The scientists were only briefly bewildered, realizing that what was opening up before them was not just a new space for research, but an entire labyrinth of multiple dimensions. Imagine the moment when, in one of the cabins, the researchers discovered a device resembling a sphere glowing with an indescribable phosphorescent light. This device turned out to be a projector displaying holographic images of universes, not only those known to us but also those hidden beyond the limits of our understanding. The object's ability to display multiple universes simultaneously made the scientists consider the possibility of parallel worlds. For many long nights, they worked on deciphering the data until one of the researchers made a staggering hypothesis. The ship possessed the ability to travel not only through time but also between dimensions, opening up new horizons for exploration. These theories were also supported by the analysis of the materials from which the ship's hull was made. The metal had the property of changing its density, which suggested the possibility of overcoming the boundaries of known physics. In another part of the vessel, overlapping images were found, which seemed to indicate the presence of technology capable of recording events that occurred at different points in time. This discovery stirred the team, suggesting a new theory about the existence of a so-called time loop in which the ship might have become trapped. The scientists analyzed the chronicles they had found, trying to identify patterns and signs of the crew's journeys through these temporal and spatial boundaries. These astonishing details, like puzzle pieces, were coming together into a single picture, promising revelations that could forever change humanity's understanding of the structure of the universe. With each passing day, the number of mysteries only grew, and ahead still lay the unresolved path to understanding the true purpose of the ship. An unsolved story, extraterrestrial writings and symbols. The researchers were amazed to discover that the mysterious ship contained numerous symbols and writings on board, which could not be deciphered using any known linguistic methods. The walls of certain compartments were covered with strange patterns, consisting of complex geometric constructions that seemed to have been calculated with unimaginable precision. These symbols were made from a material that changed color and shape depending on the viewing angle, making them even more mysterious. The team decided to use advanced scanning technologies to try to capture every detail. When analyzing the images, they noticed that the symbols reflected light at unusual angles, as if projecting messages unknown to us. The scientists hypothesized that these writings might be parts of an extremely complex navigation system, designed to guide through regions of space beyond our comprehension. Some elements seemed to contain information about star systems, while others held profiles of planets that had not yet been discovered. In one of the cabins, a panel was found covered with even more detailed symbols. It turned out to be movable, and each movement activated a hidden mechanism that produced sound signals. These sounds were not ordinary. When the researchers used a sound analysis system, they discovered that the signals were organized in a specific sequence. This led the specialists to believe that they were dealing with an attempt to transmit information that could shed light on the purpose of the ship. Inspired by this idea, the scientists began searching for patterns in the arrangement of the symbols. They believed that the writings contained hidden information about the ship's past and future. Each new discovery became part of a complex puzzle, pointing to a grand design and the highly developed intelligence of its creators. And although it was incredibly difficult to unravel all the mysteries of these enigmatic symbols, the team understood that they were on the right track. All that remained was to piece together all the elements and try to decipher the essence hidden behind these incomprehensible signs. Lost in time. How could this have happened? During the research mission, the scientists encountered a staggering mystery. How could a ship that was clearly from the future end up here, among the icy expanses of Pluto? Delving deeper into the structure of the ship, they came across strange devices that appeared to function as chrononavigators. These devices emitted unknown frequencies, creating an atmosphere of temporal instability. The researchers hypothesized that the ship might have been caught in a chrono anomaly that pulled it from the future into our time. One of the hypotheses suggested that there was some kind of temporal portal through which the ship accidentally passed. Such portals could be located in remote corners of the universe, hidden from our sight. Scientists discovered that when one of the devices was activated, time around the ship seemed to slow down, which raised even more questions about its function and origin. In the engine compartment, they found a core made of matter not identified by human science. This substance, possessing immense energy, was possibly the source of the temporal anomaly. However, the mystery of its origin remained out of reach. Analysis showed that the material was capable of interacting with time and space, which pointed to complex intertemporal technologies. In addition, the team found records mentioning events that had not occurred in known history. This led the researchers to believe that the crew might have witnessed events from both the past and the future. If these chronicles were true, they represented valuable evidence capable of expanding our understanding of time. The scientists now faced the task of piecing together all these fragments to understand how future technologies could be used in our own time. Many hypotheses and not a single clear answer. This incredible discovery attracted more and more attention with each passing minute and promised to revolutionize our understanding of the universe. On the threshold of discovery, researchers felt how close they were to understanding, but many unsolved mysteries remained before them. New era, rethinking time and space. Against the backdrop of the astonishing discoveries found aboard the mysterious ship, the researchers were faced with the need to reconsider everything they knew about time and space. The technologies discovered inside turned out to be so advanced that they caused a real shock. Every detail, from the tiniest components to entire control systems, was created using knowledge that seemed to be absent from our own time. This led scientists to suggest that what they were seeing were fragments of the future that, at some point, had slipped beyond the usual boundaries of time. The researchers, striving to unravel the mysteries of this vessel, began close collaboration with technological leaders and scientists from around the world. Their goal was to understand how, in theory, these devices could function under modern conditions. Gradually, they realized that the ship from the future was not just a mystery but also an incredible opportunity. An opportunity to improve current technologies, enhance life on Earth, and perhaps anticipate potential threats. This discovery promised to become the first step toward a new era where humanity would be able to understand and utilize intertemporal technologies. Applying the knowledge they had gained, scientists began developing their own prototypes of devices based on the artifacts from the ship. These experiments made it possible to create the first communication systems that could transmit information wirelessly over unprecedented distances. In addition, new generation power plants were developed capable of supplying energy to cities with virtually no loss. These achievements inspired generations of engineers and physicists who understood that the world would soon change forever. The scientific community was gradually witnessing the dawn of a new technological revolution, advancing at an incredible pace. All that remained was to hope that these discoveries would help humanity reach a new level of understanding of time and space. A new world seemed to be waiting for its moment, opening up endless horizons and new adventures before us. All of this became possible thanks to a single ship that found its refuge in the cold expanses of distant Pluto. But the main question remained, what else does this uncharted path conceal? A new era lay ahead, and its arrival was inevitable.